a strong, skilled workforce to meet those goals and turn them into action. These are not just future jobs, they are in-demand careers right now, and we need strong partnerships like many of you on this call to connect people to them. I'd like to just take a moment to thank our partners for making this program possible and for being present today to share their perspectives, including the New York Power Authority as our funder and Healthy Home Academy as our training partner, for their collaboration and continued commitment to building a strong and equitable workforce pipeline throughout the region. Before we move into the agenda, I just wanted to briefly introduce the team at Sustainable Westchester that supports this work. We have Kat Sales, who is our Chief Operating Officer. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today, but she is one of the leaders of our program, and she leads our overall strategy and the operations of Sustainable Westchester. We have Yasmin Najjar, Senior Program Director for Environmental Justice and Workforce Development, who leads program efforts and focuses on partner engagement across all of our workforce development work, and Christine, our Workforce Development Coordinator, who supports workforce development programming and helps with participant and employer engagement and connecting people to the opportunities that we offer. It's a small but dedicated team, and the success of this work really comes from strong collaboration with all of our partners. A brief word about the agenda for this meeting today. We're going to begin with a brief overview of Sustainable Westchester and the work we're doing in this space. Then we'll move into a funder perspective from the New York Power Authority, followed by an overview of workforce demand and the program itself. Next, we'll hear training partner perspective from our friends at Healthy Home Academy, and then walk through job placement process and application steps. And then we'll close with final remarks and end with a live Q&A and open discussion to answer questions and hear directly from participants. Now, about Sustainable Westchester. For those who may be new to our work, and I assume that that's some folks on the call, or some are probably very familiar, Sustainable Westchester is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that supports communities across the county with clean energy programs, sustainability initiatives, and equitable workforce development efforts that connect residents to real career pathways. We also lead and support a range of other initiatives across energy efficiency, clean energy access, and community-based sustainability programs. We encourage you to reach out to learn more, stay connected with our work beyond today's session, and visit our website at sustainablewestchester.org to learn more. Before we get started with the presentation, I just wanted to note that we'll be using some live polls throughout the session, and I see that we have our slide up on that. Please take out your phone and scan the QR code to use the link provided to join the polling app and keep it open during the presentation. You'll be prompted to participate in a few quick questions along the way, which helps to keep the session both interactive and moving and allows us to gather some valuable feedback. So please do scan that link. Take a minute right now to do that, if you don't mind, because we definitely want to collect your responses. And let us know via the chat if you need to get access to it. But with that, we'll move to our first polling question, which is really kind of a palate cleanser, and that is, why are you here today? What are you looking for from today's webinar? So please select all that apply. And I'm going to do this right now myself. So that there we go. Beautiful. So thanks everybody for participating. It's a real honor to be here with you all today. And I just wanted to introduce our first speaker, Sandra Bleckman from the New York Power Authority, who will share NYPA's perspective as our funder and speak to the important work that NYPA is doing to accelerate workforce development across New York State. Sandra, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Tom. And thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. So, as Tom mentioned, my name is Sandra Bleckman. I am the Workforce Development Project Director here at NYPA, and I have my colleague, Kieran Kelly, our program manager. He is on the line as well. So, I wanted to share a few thoughts on NYPA's commitment to the clean energy workforce development and why really strong pipelines are essential, talent pipelines are essential for our state's energy future and the broader community impact of the work that we're leading and supporting across New York. So at NYPA, we recognize that the clean energy transition is ultimately a people-powered transition. Renewable energy systems, advanced building technologies, and electrified infrastructure all depend on a capable, well-trained workforce. That's why workforce development is not an add-on to our mission. It's a pillar of our strategy for advancing New York's clean energy goals. We're investing in programs that equip New Yorkers with the skills needed to succeed in fields like energy efficiency, electrification, building operations, and renewable energy installation. And we do this in partnership with many of you on the line, with laborers, educators, community organizations, and employers across the entire state of New York. Building a robust and sustainable workforce pipeline is essential, not only to meet our current industry needs, but to ensure long-term reliability and resilience across New York's energy systems. These pipelines must be accessible, inclusive, and aligned with the real-world demands of employers. Industry plays and employers play a very important role in workforce development. That means combining classroom education with hands-on technical training, supporting credential-based learning, and maintaining strong ties to apprenticeship programs and high-quality employment opportunities. NYPA is committed to strengthening these pathways so that individuals can move from training directly into meaningful long-term careers. The workforce programs we support are intentionally designed to reach underserved and disadvantaged communities, those communities that have been historically excluded from energy transition and the trades. So by preparing technical training with wraparound support services such as travel vouchers, stipends, referrals for mental health, childcare, these programs are the things that help ensure that participants can complete their training and succeed in their new roles. Supportive services are not an option. We really want to make sure that all the programs are speaking to the entire individual, that we're not just funding someone to get a certification. We want to make sure that people have the advantage not only to complete the program, but to succeed in employment. So the result is not only a stronger clean energy workforce, but stronger communities, more stable employment, more families earning family-sustaining wages, and more New Yorkers able to participate fully in the state's clean energy transition. From NYPA's perspective, the importance of this work cannot be overstated. The transition to clean energy requires infrastructure, investment, and innovation, but none of that can be built or sustained without people. A skilled workforce is foundational to meeting climate goals, ensuring system reliability, and delivering the clean energy future New Yorkers deserve. Our commitment to workforce development reflects NYPA's belief that the clean energy transition must be both technically successful and socially equitable. When we invest in people, we invest in the long-term success of our state. So to that end, we have up to $25 million per year that we do invest in clean energy workforce development. We've already invested $50 million over the last 2 years, and we just started our next fiscal year this April 1st. And we look forward to continuing to partner with organizations across the state, including Sustainable Westchester and the Healthy Home Academy. I just wanted to thank you again for inviting me to be a part of the event. I look forward to continuing this collective effort to build a strong, diverse, and future-ready clean energy workforce for New York.
Okay. I want to extend a sincere thank you to Sandra Blackman for joining us today and for helping make this work possible. It's been a real pleasure working with her as a partner throughout this initiative. So thank you so much, Sandra. Before I dive in, we're going to start with 2 quick fact-based poll questions from the Bureau of Labor Statistics to ground us in today's discussion. This will only take a quick moment to answer, so let's take some time to respond. I'm going to go on to the next slide here. Okay. Sorry for the technical issues. It's not, okay. Okay, So let's take a minute to just answer this question. Alrighty, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. Yes, so the correct answer is A. About 1 to 3% of HVAC fuel technicians in the US are women. This really highlights an important opportunity in the sector. There's often a misconception that HVAC work requires extreme physical labor and heavy lifting, but in reality, the field has evolved with a lot more new tools and technology and career pathways. So it is something that a lot of talented women are missing out on. So that's a gap we're trying to address through this training program. And we're proud to see many more women recently joining our training program as well. So with that, I'm going to move on to the second question. Okay. And this is our second question. I'm going to take just a few seconds to wait on. Okay, we're going to move on to the next slide to get the right answer. Yes, so the correct answer is 40%, and that tells us there's a major retirement wave happening in the skilled trades. This means a large share of today's workforce will need to be replaced in the coming years, which creates a strong and steady demand for new HVAC technicians. We'll take a look at other factors that also contribute to demand shortly in the slides, but first, let's begin by speaking about Sustainable Westchester's experience in the workforce development space. So let me quickly go to that slide. Perfect. So over the past few years, Sustainable Westchester has spent a lot of time working with partners across the county to better understand where clean energy workforce gaps really are. Through career fairs, working group meetings, regional outreach, and market research, we kept hearing similar themes come up. Employers struggling to find certified workers, training programs looking for participants, and residents wanting more equitable access to clean energy pathways. At the same time, we see continued growth in HVAC and building science as the state continues to invest and go towards the New York State's rigorous climate laws. Our role throughout this has largely been making connections and bringing partners together and sharing information. But one thing we didn't have visibility on is what was actually happening beyond those conversations, whether people were actually enrolling into training, completing training, landing jobs in the clean energy industry. And that gap is what really pushed us to the next phase. We're now moving just beyond outreach to now supporting people fully throughout the pipeline, from building awareness to helping them with mentorship, all the way to placing them into jobs. So we're really, really having a direct focus on measurable impact throughout this whole program. Next slide. Okay. So in partnership with NYPA and the Healthy Home Academy, we launched a 2-year workforce development initiative. We will be providing no-cost clean energy training to 120 participants. And the program is open to high school graduates and career changers with a strong focus on expanding access to residents from disadvantaged communities and underserved populations. Participants can choose from 2 hands-on training tracks, which we're going to delve deeper into in the coming slides, which is heat pump and home performance, and receive industry recognized certifications, mentorship, and job placement support to help them successfully enter the clean energy workforce. At its core, the program is rooted in environmental justice, making sure that opportunities really reach people who face the greatest barriers and may not otherwise have access to them. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let me walk you through what our role looks like in this. It starts with outreach, meeting people where they are, whether that's through community events, local partnerships, social media. And then from there, we move into recruitment, reaching high school graduates and career changers. And like I mentioned, having a special focus on disadvantaged community residents. And once enrolled, participants go through the training with our partner, Healthy Home Academy, where they receive hands-on instruction and earn industry-recognized certifications. And throughout that journey, we provide ongoing support and mentorship to help ensure participants stay engaged and overcome any barriers that come up. And at the end, we don't just stop at training, we connect graduates directly with employers who are actively hiring. The goal isn't just to train people, it's to make sure that they're actually stepping into well paying, fulfilling career tracks. Next slide. Okay, so let's take a look at why we chose to focus on HVAC, because that's a question we get often. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are about 425,000 HVAC technicians employed nationwide, with the industry projected to grow 8% between 2024 and 2034, which is faster than all other occupations. And each year, there are roughly 40,000 job openings across the field. What that tells us is simple. This is not a one-time spike in demand. It's consistently a strong labor market with ongoing opportunity for new workers to enter the field. Next slide. Okay, so now let's zoom in on what's driving that demand. There are a few key structural factors at play. We already mentioned a large share of skilled trades workforce is nearing retirement age, so that's one element. At the same time, there's a continuous demand for repair, maintenance, and system replacement because HVAC systems are essential in both homes and commercial buildings and require ongoing services. And on top of that, we're seeing sustained residential and commercial construction growth, which adds even more demand for new installations. And finally, rising investment in energy efficiency and HVAC system upgrades are accelerating the need for skilled technicians who can work on newer, more advanced technologies as they grow as well. Taken together, these are the factors on why HVAC demand remains pretty consistent over time. Next slide. Okay, so this is something we get asked often as well. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Occupational Employment and Waste Statistics of 2025, these are the salary wages of HVAC workers. Entry levels 48,000 to 58,000, mid level 70,000, 85,000, and senior technicians typically make 85,000 to 100,000, and top earners can even go beyond that. Overall, this field really reflects a clear pathway for wage growth as skills and experiences increase, and making HVAC a financially stable career. Next slide. So yeah, our program has two training tracks. The heat pump track is centered on HVAC systems, electrification, and modernization of homes to make them more comfortable and energy efficient. Participants earn industry-recognized certifications like the EPA 608, OSHA 10, building science principles, and more that you see listed here. And they graduate ready for roles as HVAC technicians or heat pump installers. The home performance track takes a broader look at how home functions as a system. It focuses on things like air sealing, insulation, and healthy housing to improve overall efficiency and comfort. And students earn certifications in BPI building science, BPI air leakage, OSHA 10, and more. And they enter into jobs such as a home performance specialist, energy auditor, weatherization technician, and more. And what's really important to note from this is that both tracks are really hands-on. It's not just classroom learning. Participants are working with real tools and real systems, so they leave with the practical skills they need to enter entry-level positions. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to our training partner, Brad Barton from the Healthy Home Academy, who can walk you through the program from a trainer's perspective and share some success stories as well. So Brad, take it away.
Thank you, Yasmin. I appreciate it. And thank you, Sandra, and all of NYPA. And the partnership between Sustainable Westchester and NYPA has truly been, in my mind, a great success. And we could not do this alone. And I appreciate all your efforts. I want to give you a little backstory as to really how the Academy came to be. We were born really out of Healthy Home Energy and Consulting, which is a contracting company. And many years ago, they were very frustrated because prospective employees would come and say, I'm ready to start a job. I have some experience. And the truth is, they really had very little experience, or they were woefully untrained. And we would end up having to train them from ground up. Or worse yet, folks were poorly trained and we had to untrain them. And out of that frustration grew the Academy. And the Academy is a very rigorous program. We teach the science and the reasoning behind eco-science building. We don't just say do X, Y, and Z. We want people to fully understand what they're doing. This program is not for everyone, and that should be made clear. It's as I said, a rigorous program. It's 5 weeks. It's 3 days a week. It's just about all day long during those 3 days. It's close to 90 hours. And the most important thing is that you're coming out with being fully certified, as Yasmin had mentioned, so that you're ready on day one. There is no untraining like we had experienced before. There is no training up. You're ready to go. And a certification, I think we throw that term around a lot. It's critical. There are certain certifications like an EPA 608. In our mind, you are worthless on a job if you don't have an EPA 608. You can't touch refrigerants. So what on earth are you doing around heat pumps and HVAC? It's equivalent to us of coming out of law school and waiting for you to pass the bar exam. You really can't practice law until you pass the bar exam. So you need to have those certifications. And we take this very seriously because this isn't just about, oh, I took a class and I learned something. This is about starting a career. We don't try to find people jobs, we find them careers. And Yasmin laid nicely out the path for a very successful and very lucrative career in this industry. And the format for our program is very important. A lot of folks out there have just a classroom. And, I've been to a lot of classes in my lifetime, and quite honestly, after a while, they get a little boring, and I'm not sure how much you learn. We really focus on the hands-on. So we have really a trifecta. We have, yes, the classroom, because you do have to sit there and you have to listen to the professor, the lecturer, the guest lecturer, whatever it may be. But you also have to work on what we call our labs. So there's lots of equipment around the classrooms where you are physically rolling up your sleeves and getting involved and doing the work. So that's really the second part. And then the third part is it's actual field work. It's actual learning. And Yasmin, thank you for putting up the pictures to what looks like a royal mess, but that's our classroom and those are our labs and those are people working on the labs. And truly, that's the only way to learn in our experience. Um, Healthy Home Energy and Consulting is not the only employer out there. What they're looking for, other employers, is having prospective employees that really want to know why something is happening. And that's the way we teach. We teach you to think, basically. And again, it's that hands-on experience that employers really want. Again, it's nice to say I took a class. If you physically haven't done it, employers really aren't that interested in you. And as I also said, most importantly, it's critical to have those certifications. This has been, for me personally, a magnificent ride. I've had lots of experience in fancy jobs on Wall Street and chief this, chief that. When it comes down to it, we're working with a group down in Lower Westchester, and I'm purposely leaving it a little bit anonymous. And we were having students that were truly from a very disadvantaged community, a true priority population. And I was working with their guidance counselors almost every single day. And there was one day where she called me. She didn't even say hello or greet me. And she simply said, "You are changing their lives." And as I said, I've worked for a long time. There's nothing more personally gratifying than to know that one of our students now is walking into the center with their head held high. He had organized a study group amongst the other students that were part of this center. I mean, it's a true impact. I have another student from this last semester who literally was working in a shoe store. I made a phone call after they graduated, and a few weeks later, he was working at a phenomenal contractor close to his home. Again, changed his life. He was helping to support his family, and now he's making real wages that do that. I'm very proud of this program. It's a very serious program. It's a very rigorous program, and I invite you to learn more. Thank you, Yasmin.
Thank you so much, Brad, for sharing your insights and being a valuable partner. I would like to now take a brief minute to explain how we've been doing outreach for this program. We have been actively building a strong community partnerships across Westchester. In total, we've connected with more than 30 partners, including the New Yorkers for Clean Power, Westchester Library System, Carver Center, Neighbors Link, Westchester Community College, Westchester Putnam Workforce Development Board, Mount Vernon Youth Bureau, and many others. And I want to take a moment moment to thank the partners I just listed, as some of you are on this call today. We really appreciate your time, engagement, and continued collaboration on getting the word out. Our outreach methods have included emails, phone calls, virtual and in-person meetings, tabling events, social media, and local press. Like we mentioned before, the Patch, Houston Media, and the Yonkers Times. We've also maintained a strong community presence at job fairs, street fairs, food pantries, and other workforce-related events. So if there's anybody on this call that there's an event coming up where we can go and share this, please let us know. Our team would be right on the boots and floor there. So yeah, and we're actively looking to expand more opportunities into schools and houses of worship and additional local nonprofits to reach even more residents. So the more people find out about this, the more people can benefit. So please, as a collaborative effort, share anything, any tips and advice for us to be out there in the community. And with that, I'd like to pass it over to Christine to speak about job placement and next steps.
Thank you, Yasmin. Sustainable Westchester is committed to ensuring that every graduate secures employment. And I would like to recognize and thank our partner, Healthy Home, for your ongoing support in this effort. I met with Brad last week, and he gave me a great overview of the current students that just graduated. So thank you for that. When students complete their training and are certified, they are fully prepared to enter the workforce. We meet individually and with them and conduct a survey which identifies strengths, skills, career goals, and potential employment barriers to place them in the right job. We also connect our candidates with local nonprofits that provide career services like resume review, interview coaching, etc. Candidates are then matched with local HVAC and clean energy contractors. Sustainable Westchester has great relationships with a lot of local vetted and certified NYSERDA contractors, which is beneficial to the program. And to date, we have a total of 20 candidates that we have trained, and actively working on recruiting 12 from the last cohort. Now on to the next slide on how to apply. Applying is very easy. As Yasmin mentioned earlier, you choose your desired track, whether it's heat pump training or home performance training. You can apply here by just scanning this QR code or visiting our website. Once you have applied, a screening interview is done, if selected, followed by an in-person interview. And the cohort start dates for cohort 3 is coming up June 22nd, and cohort 4 will be in August 4th. And all additional cohorts will be announced on a rolling basis. And on to the next slide. Helping us grow and expand our workforce development program is possible for everyone. You could share our program with your networks and communities, refer individuals, partner with us on outreach, events, and workforce development efforts. If you are a contractor seeking technicians, please contact us. We have very capable, well-trained technicians ready to work. After this call, we will send out an email including program description and a flyer to share with your communities, and an email link to apply to the program if you are interested. And last but not least, there's 2 questions that we would like to get your feedback on. And these questions are meant to better support the clean energy workforce and identify partnership opportunities and how we could better serve all of you. Let's see, the 2 questions are, okay, there's the first question. So please go ahead and answer that. Give it a few more minutes. Okay, seems great. Thank you for your feedback. Job placement is very important. And the next question is, how would you like Sustainable Westchester to partner with your organization? And you could select all that apply. Okay, wonderful. This is great feedback. Thank you so much, everybody.
Great. Hope everyone can hear me. Thank you all. Thank you all our speakers, especially Sandra and Brad, for serving us as our spotlight speakers today. And thank you as well to everybody for attending this call and being part of this conversation. We know that this work can only be successful through cross collaboration, and we're grateful to have so many partners working alongside us to move forward this effort. We're going to open up the floor to any questions anybody may have. I am going to be checking the chat as well, so feel free to pop some questions in the chat and things. I'm going to keep an eye out right now. So I'm going to open my chat. Let's see. Well, I see some questions have been answered already. And yes, Emily, we're going to be in touch with you with some great candidates that are ready to be hired. So we're definitely going to be in touch with everybody on this call. And we have James Riley today. If I'm correct. He is a Healthy Home Academy graduate. James, would you like to say a few words about your experience or anything?
Yes. Can I unmute or do I type?
Oh, definitely unmute yourself.
Hold on. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to before. Let me just try to get the.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I think you can hear me.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you. Mm-hmm.
First, hi, Brad. How are you? It's been a little bit while.
Hey Jim, how you doing? I saw you
Good.
coming. I'm hoping we've got good feedback from you.
Yes, and thank you for inviting me, Yasmin. Yasmin, ignore my email from an hour ago saying I didn't get the Zoom invitation. It went to my junk mail file. So,
okay.
Anyway, I am a recent graduate of, I guess it was the first class, the first session of the Healthy Home Academy, at least in this between HHA and Sustainable Westchester. It was a great experience, and I can compare it directly to the BOCES program because I already had a 608 certification through BOCES from last year, and there was no comparison. Healthy Home Academy was a true proper school where you learn. BOCES, it looked like that they were downsizing the HVAC program. The instructor who knew his stuff, he had been in the industry his whole life, but was burned out, was angry. He was just playing us YouTube videos and kind of like cheated us through the test. I did not feel that I learned anything there. And then to have this opportunity with Healthy Home Academy was wonderful. There's no other school really like it. The way it's geared specifically, not just towards heat pumps, but even the equipment you train with. They specifically have a training heat pump that shows you exactly how the refrigerant moves through it, how the valves work. It's nobody else is doing this. Maybe in the country, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So I can't praise Healthy Home Academy and Brad and those guys enough. And I thank you at Sustainable Westchester. I thank Kat again when you speak to her for me. I've had some overlap with you guys. I took courses over the years I've taken with some of the people from Sustainable Westchester, and you're a really wonderful group of people as well. My guess is we're one of the few areas in the country that is this serious and this coordinated about this kind of work in sustainability.
James, did you cut off or did you ask a question? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just wondering. I mean, it seems like you like this area of the country, and you guys in particular, Sustainable Westchester, Healthy Home Academy.
Mhm.
I don't think there's much of this sort of synergy going on probably anywhere in the country.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely. There
yeah.
is this is something that a lot of regions in our country needs better access to clean energy training. And
Mhm.
NIPA has really facilitated this and made us possible to run a program like this. Like there's a
Okay.
lot of time and investment needed to direct these awareness efforts and training programs to disadvantaged communities and things. And I feel like with the capacity that NIPA has lended us, I just feel like this has really made our work possible. And I hope it can serve as a model for other organizations across the region to pilot and create doing. So it's like I think this is a great model for many other organizations to run to learn from.
I think you are the model. Maybe New York City has a few organizations, but I don't think if you go anywhere else in the country, and they're going to wind up trying to play catch up, and this could be the model right here, right now. So to be a
Perfect.
part of a seminal movement is humbling. But I'm
Perfect.
honored.
If I
And
could jump in, Yasmin, for a second.
Yeah, definitely, Brett.
Jim, first off, thank you so much for your kind words.
that's right.
And that's when I was alluding to. I mean, I've worked for many, many years. I've never had such a successful partnership as this, corporation, company, academy, whatever you want to call it. Um, Yasmin, every day I say this to you as leading the efforts on your side. It's been fantastic. And Jim, it is all about the students at the end of the day, and it's all about
Mhm.
careers. And we have heard consistently there isn't another program out there. And I've written many business plans in my life, and one of the things you always do is you look at market competition and market research. And I was challenged because the owner of Healthy Home Energy and Consulting in the Academy said, there's nothing else like that out there. And I said, oh, yeah, sure there isn't. There isn't. And
Mhm.
we've taken that to heart. And again, I really appreciate your very kind words. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And that goes for Kevin and Mitch and everybody at the Academy.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Tom Kleiner, I see you have your hand up, so I just want to give you a moment to speak.
Yeah, thanks. I put my camera on, but it says the video says can't start your video because it's disabled by the host, just FYI.
Okay.
But no problem. Yeah, I put a note in the chat just to let everybody know that the Westchester Putnam Workforce Board's annual meeting on June 23rd at Westchester Community College is centered around all these issues. And the presenters are Angela Sun and Antoine, can't remember his last name for the moment, who presented at the Clean Energy Action, Ken, thank you so much, at the conference a couple of years ago. And they're really terrific. So I'll have, if Sustainable Westchester would just share the flyer that I shared with Yasmin.
Mhm.
And then I encourage everybody, just to follow, just use the QR code and sign up. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. All of these efforts are really obviously collaborative efforts between us, Workforce Sports, Sustainable Westchester, Business Council, WCA. We're all essentially trying to work toward common goals. But this is such a great group that if you haven't already received the invite, take a look. And I would love for everybody to come if you're available that day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. We're definitely about cross collaboration, so I'll make sure to include your flyer when we follow up with everybody on this call and everybody who registered with a brief overview of this presentation, slide deck, and as well as our application link. So make sure to include your flyer as well, Tom. And thanks for sharing that great opportunity with us.
Thanks,
Christine,
Yes.
is there any questions that you would like to read off or answer or give it out to
Yes.
anybody?
There's some questions about sharing the deck. We will absolutely share the deck after the meeting. Let's see. Donna Hope was asking about, she's a new homeowner with a new air source heat pump system, and she wants to know how, just more information about the heat pump. Donna, we have a team of dedicated energy advisors. I put their, here at Sustainable Westchester, I put their email there, so you could definitely reach out to them, or we could also, introduce you to them. And let's see, details, Helena, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Details about the training, such as how long they take, days, weeks, hours. Okay, so the training is, Yasmin, do you want to cover that? How long the training is, or
Yeah.
Brad?
So I would just say it's 3 days a week, not 5 days a week, because people usually ask that question. But I would like to pass that on to Brad to speak about the hours and how flexible they are with their
Sure.
training.
It
Yeah.
is 3 days a week for 5 weeks. Right now it's
Mhm.
on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We run from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We do have office hours on Thursday. Some of these may be falling behind a little bit. As I've said 3 times now, the program is very rigorous. So one day builds upon the next day. So this is not the kind of thing like, oh, I'll skip class today. You skip class, you're missing a huge chunk and you're probably not moving on. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 3 for 5 weeks. June 22nd is the next, I call it semester. I know everyone else calls it cohort. And then the next one, I think, is August 10th, not August 4th. That'll be, again, another 5 weeks. And then we'll set up dates for the fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth semesters, etc. Yeah, and keep in mind too, there are quizzes, there are tests, there's homework, and of course there are the proverbial certifications.
Thank you, Brad. And there's also one more question. Who the target audience is besides disadvantaged communities? Is it for early on careers, for career changers, mid-career, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. So this opportunity, one common question we have is, do participants need any technical experience before enrolling? Do they need any experience in clean energy? Absolutely not. This training is designed to meet participants where they are. So you could be a high school graduate, you can be a disadvantaged community resident, you can be from other underserved populations as well. If you're Justice 40 affected, if you are somebody who is on government assistance programs, anything that you see as a barrier, we're open to have that discussion with you. And we teach you all the fundamental things needed to enter into the entry level position. So don't feel like I don't have any experience, I don't have these qualifications. Feel free to apply and we'll have conversations with you moving forward. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, and if I could just add one thing to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only real requirement on top of that is you better have a strong interest in this. This isn't
Yeah.
something like, oh, I'll give it a shot and maybe I'll learn something.
Mm-hmm.
We don't accept those kind of people. I'm sorry. If you have a strong interest, yeah, we'll teach you how to use a hammer. We'll
Yeah.
teach you how to repair a heat pump. If you don't and you're not going to take it serious, you're going to be taking up somebody's spot that critically needs it, and we can't do that.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's very critical what Brad said. Like you have to be um confident and confirm that after you graduate from this program, you're willing to enter into the HVAC industry to be one of those roles that I mentioned on the previous slides, because this is not a sit and learn type course. It is kind of like a scholarship program that we're giving out, which really is to address a lot of barriers that existed before this program. So please make sure that you come in with the mindset that you're pursuing a career in this industry. Is there any
Great.
other questions?
Yes, there's another question from Rafiq, more towards numbers, total eligible groups, targeted groups actually reached. So I don't know if Rafiq or if you'd like to share a little bit more details on what kind of numbers you were
Mhm.
looking at. Is it just total, like students that have enrolled?
Is that for Yasmin or myself?
Oh,
I
I
know
was,
Rafiq is going to elaborate more. Okay, go on.
I was asking Rafiq to elaborate more on his
Mhm.
question on the numbers that he was looking for, if you're on the line. Maybe he's on mute or maybe he stepped away. But Yasmin, are there any numbers to share? I mean, we 20 candidates have done the training, right?
Mhm. Yeah, so this program did launch in February. We had a handful of applicants, and like I said before, we screened them and we provide them over to Healthy Home Academy. So when it comes to high level numbers, I can share there's been 30 plus nonprofit organizations that we've been reaching out, like I mentioned, to spread the word. We have had around 100 to 120 applicants in I'm thinking about the numbers, it's not on top of my head, about how many applicants have come our way, but they don't meet the qualifications for the most part. So we have been vetting them and making sure that they're committed to landing a career and stuff, like the stuff that Brad mentioned. But those are some high level numbers I can mention. We do have a list of 100 and something employers we're constantly communicating with and being in touch with. So we ensure that we're aware of any job opportunities that are opening up, and we're having meetings with them and trying to line up all the opportunities so that people don't wait too long after they graduate to enter into their jobs. So those are like some high level numbers: reach, number of applicants, number of people who have participated, and a close range of how many employers we're in touch with. But if you could unmute yourself and ask for any more specific numbers, I'm happy to answer it here or follow up with more specific numbers after the call.
Thank you, Yasmin. Jared asks, are we able to select semester cohorts?
If you mean that if you go through an interview process and you want to take a later cohort, that's something that you could communicate to us and the academy so we can hold your spot. But yeah, usually like we do have one coming up on June 22nd. So if you get your interview done, we'll most likely project you for that cohort. But if you feel like the fall one works best for you, or you want to think about enrolling next year, it's better to start having that conversation now so we could hold your spot and keep in touch with you.
And
problem.
Emily asks if this program is available for people who are already employed but looking to expand skills.
So as Brad said, I want to put a strong emphasis that this is a great opportunity to expand skills, but it is required that you enter the industry after you graduate. That is something that is required as part of this program. So if you're not looking to enter in the HVAC industry, this might not be the appropriate program for that. And Brad, do you want to say anything to that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree, 100%,
Yeah.
Yasmin. But on the other hand, this past semester cohort, we had a student who was working full time and literally used his vacation days to meet those 85 to 90 hours, and he was there every single day. And his plan was the day he graduated to quit his job and work in the industry. And he works in finance, which was originally my background. So he's done being a broker and he wants to go into the industry. I'm like, great. So if you could be there for class, and if you're serious, as Yasmin said, about going into the industry, absolutely, we welcome you. It's a great diversification of our student population. We welcome it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what Brad and the Healthy Home Academy does, but a lot of people, after they go through the program, they're very excited to enter the industry, that they quit their job and say, I want to get hired now. So it really it piques a lot of people's interest. So if you're willing to explore and also transition your career, this is a great opportunity.
It's the snacks that we serve. I guarantee it.
Oh, there's the secret. Thanks for that context, Emily. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other questions, Christine, I'm missing on the chat?
No, I think we covered everything that's in the chat. Unless anyone else has any other questions, please feel free to ask us.
We'll just give it another minute. Great. So I am definitely going to send up a follow-up email today. I did get a bunch of emails come up that a lot of people registered, but they were unable to attend. So we're definitely going to be circling back with the recording of this video, of this webinar, and all the resources that you need. Sandra, thank you so much. Brad, thank you so much. Is there any words that you want to share, both of you, before we close out? Sandra or Brad?
Just thank you for having us, and we're really excited about the work that you're doing, and it's a pleasure to work with such dedicated training providers and groups. And I think that you're really, and Brad, you've hit the nail on the head saying, making an impact, right? We're changing people's lives, and I think that's at NIPA, we're really excited about that, because we don't often have the opportunity to do that and invest in. That's why I love my job, because I know that I'm directly affecting people's jobs and lives, even though I'm not meeting every candidate and every graduate, which I would love to. But we're really excited about it. So looking forward to continued good things in the future.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Brad?
I just want to thank all you guys. Again, the partnership between Sustainable Westchester, NIPA, and the Academy, it's bar none. It's phenomenal. And all your support. And yeah, this is a great place to be right now. And I just thank everyone.
Thank you, Brad. And Tom, would you like to close it out?
Sure. Just want to thank everybody again for taking part. It is all about partnership and collaboration. I think that's one of our big takeaways, in addition to the incredible opportunity that this program offers. So if you want to find out more, visit us at sustainablewestchester.org. And thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you all so much and take care. We'll stay in touch.
Mhm.